Sree Maathrey namaha. With the divine blessings of our Mother Divine Lalita Mahatripura Sundari and Father Divine Lord Mahadeva, we are continuing to discuss the very powerful Soundarya Lahari. Today we'll make an attempt to understand the 41st Slokam, which is the last of the Shlokas in Ananda Lahari. Ananda Lahari is the first 41 Shlokas, and from 42nd onwards until the 100th, it is considered Soundarya Lahari. Before we start, we will offer our prayers. Shri Kanto Matlo Yasya Janni Sarva Mangala Jankaha Shankaro Mahadeva Tvam Vande Gajananam Vimalapati Kamalaputi Pustaka Rudraksha Sastha Puti Kamakshi Pakshmanakshi Kalta Vipanchi Vibhasi Vairinchi Manojavam Maratulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanruta Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sirsanamami Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarva Sampadam Lokabhiramam Sri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamiham Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmal Spatika Gurti Madharam Sarvavidyanam Hai Kriyam Upasmahe Guruve Sarvalokanam Bishya Babaroginam Nidya Sarvavidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtiye Namaha Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Pravitum Nache Devam Devo Nakalu Kushalas Panditumapi Ataswam Aradhyam Harihara Virinchadi Berapi Pranantum Stotum Vakadam Katapunya Pravati Taniyam Sum Pamsum Tavacharna Pankero Bam Veranchis Sanchanvan Merchati Lokana Viklan Vatianam Chori Kadamapisa State Sirsam Haras Sankshudenam Basto Duranavidim Avidyanam Antastimira Mihrat Vipana Jadanam Chaitanya Stabakamakanda Daridranam Chintamani Gurnikajam Jardo Nimagdanam Dapsha Muraripuvara Sepavati. Today's 41st Slokam, Tava Dhare Mule Samyalasya Paraya Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandamnatam Ubabhyam Metabhyam Mudishadaya Sanadabhyam Jange Jankajanni Manjagatam. I've been trying to record this Slokam, and to the extent Mother allows, to explain the meaning of this very powerful 41st Sloka, but there have been a series of interruptions where the power went away multiple times, causing the interruption to internet and therefore causing an interruption to the recording. Then I was slightly irritated on why the obstacles were coming through, and naturally, as I was offering my prayers now, Mother in the form of Saraswati Gayatri did the Prachodayat, that this Slokam that talks about Tava Dhare Mule Sa Samaya Lasya Paraya Navat Manam Manye Navarasa Mahatandavanatam Ubhabhyam Metabhyam Mudaya Uddishadaya Sanadabhyam Jange Jankajanni Majjagaddam. First, let's understand the meaning of this Slokam. So, here is the screenplay of the Slokam. The worlds are burnt, and the Jagato Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro, as Kalidasa has mentioned in his compositions, he has addressed Shiva and Parvati as Jagato Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro. So the father and mother come together in order to create the cosmos, the universes. When they come together, they are called Mahakameshwara, Mahakameshwari. They are moving with Mahakamam of creating the cosmos and the universe. Now, this first 41 shlokas talk about the mantra, Sri Vidya mantras, yantra, Sri Yantram, and tantra, using the mantra and the yantra together in order to go inward. Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. No matter how many external efforts we put, the answers to our most profound questions, deepest questions, who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going to go to? All these questions, answers will be found only when we go inward. And the journey from here to here is the longest of the journeys. Antarmukha Sama Aradhya Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. So for all the questions that we have, the answers are within, not outside. And the one who is standing behind the eyes and making me watch everything is the one who is the most difficult to watch, because I need to close my eye and start looking inward. Now, the scene or the screenplay of this 41st Slokam goes as: the whole cosmos has been annihilated, and father and mother are coming together and dancing. The dance done by the male dancers is called Nrutyam. Dance done by the female or the women is called Lasyam. And when father and mother are dancing together, this whole cosmos is coming into its existence. This is basically what this slokam explains. How does it say? Tavadhare mule saha samaya lasya paraya. Tavadhare. So we are saying tava adhara tavadhare mule. O mother, in your muladharam. So we discussed about Kaulacharam, Vamacharam, Dakshinacharam, Samayacharam, Misracharam. There are many infinite paths of reaching our creator or the source from which we have come from. Now, in this, Dakshinacharam is the right-handed path, Vamacharam is the left-handed path, Samayacharam is basically doing everything internally in the mental plane. Kaulacharam has certain rituals prescribed for it. Misracharam is a mix of some of these things. What is important is the bhakti, the devotion. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. Most of us in Grihasthashrama do a mix of everything called Misracharam. Sometimes, we are basically using the Naiti philosophy of using everything in moderation and therefore moving ahead to the next school of philosophy, following whether it is Samayachara, Vamachara, Dakshinachara, Kaulachara, or Misrachara. Mother will respond to all these approaches. Some are very deep and steep, some are very safe, some are very cleanly lit, well ventilated, some are going through the dark dungeons. So depending on our vasanas, our risk-taking capabilities, and our guru's capabilities, we will be guided through. Now, what is common amongst all these is the strong urge and devotion to the feet of the divine parents. Tavadhare mule saha samaya lasya paraya. This basically talks about Samayachara Paddhati. Samaya Achara Paddhati. Samaya means the Maya of the world. Essentially, whatever we can see with the naked eye is created at some point in time, and therefore it will get destroyed at some point in time. Now, Samayachara essentially talks about going to a mental plane and therefore doing the meditation and puja at a mental plane level. So Antar Puja is of extreme importance in Samayacharam, and there is no external puja as such in Samayacharam. What does mental puja mean? Doing a namasmarana all the time, doing a mantra smarana all the time. So internalizing the puja, so which will help us go internal. When a devotee is internalizing, there is no difference between him and the god or goddess that he or she is praying to. Therefore, when we say Tavadhare mule sahasamaya lasya paraya, as a devotee who is praying to mother, for example, if I am praying to Mother Goddess Lalita Mahatripura Sundari and Father Mahakameshwara, when I say Tavadhare mule sahasamaya lasya paraya, when I close my eyes and I am doing meditation, my Muladhara Chakram, Tavadhare mule, my Mula Adhara Chakram, Tavadhare mule sahasamaya lasya paraya. When I'm internalizing in my Muladhara Chakram, I will see the mother smiling and giving expressions through her body. This is called lasyam. This essentially says the sleeping kundalini in me, because mother is Maha Kundalini. The sleeping Kundalini is getting awakened, and therefore I'm starting to see the facial expressions, the bodily expressions that I'm calling Lasyam. And when will the dance come? Dance is essentially a form of movement. Now, when I am sitting still and starting to see the movement of Kundalini at the base of Muladharam, I'm not seeing any difference between me and my Divine Mother. Therefore, the one who is praying, the one who is being prayed to, and the form of prayer, all the three come into one unison. This is essentially what the Trishulam of Shiva means. In this picture, in the background, you see there's no Trishulam, because you can only witness this picture in a frame of mental stillness, where the yogi and the Divine Father Shiva is turning into Bhogi and becoming one with Mother. And when Tava Dhare Mule Saha Samaya Lasya Paraya, when I'm internalizing the prayer, I'm following the Samayacharya Paddhati. Then what happens? Tava Dhare Mule Saha Samaya Lasya Paraya, Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandava Natam. Navatmanam Manye, Nava Atmanam. What does Nava Atma mean? Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandava Natam. Navarasas. We know what are the Navarasas. What are the Navarasas that we all go through the Navarasas? As I was trying to record this episode, I said there were many obstacles that were created, and there were these different Navarasas that were being born in me. And then as I was making the fourth attempt, again the power cut happened, interrupting the internet. And the fifth time, Panchasankhya Mother reminded me that the obstacles that are coming my way are being removed and eliminated, because now I'm making the fifth attempt after making the required prayers, and therefore she continues to take care. So the Navarasas that we go through, Shringara Rasa, the Shringara Rasa essentially is moving with a desire. We come into existence because our parents moved with a dharma-based kama. So Shringara, what is the bhavam Shringara? Rati means having desires. Okay? The Shringara is the first rasam. Shringara rasam. Shringara is Prakriti. Vikriti is Shringar. So applying the bindi is also called Shringar, because when you are applying the kunkuma or the bindi, you essentially are saying, one day I want to become one with that Parama Purusha. And this is the secret of Sri Krishna doing Rasa Leela in Vrindavanam, where in between the Gopi and Gopi Sri Krishna is standing, and in between Sri Krishna and Sri Krishna Gopi is standing. And in between all of them dancing, there's a Sri Krishna standing and playing the flute, because he's the only Parama Purusha. And the story goes on Sri Krishna, when Rama did the puja in Ramayanam, Mother Goddess Sita was with Bhudevi. Now she was at the Valmiki Maharshi's ashramam, and after giving birth to Lava and Kusha, before she returned, Rama had to perform the yagnas, and without the Dharmapatni being there, and Rama is Ekapatni Vrata, so Rama has only one wife, he had to get a Suvarna Murti of Mother Goddess Sita in order to perform the Homa. After the Homa, Rama asked, what should I do with this gold Murti of Mother Goddess Sita? And Vasistha Guru suggested that you can donate this gold to the Brahmanas. And Rama donated that. And then the Brahmana said, whatever you donated to us, may you get it in tenfold. What did Rama donate? Rama donated the gold that was made in the form of Mother Goddess Sita, which is his wife. And then all the rishis when blessed Rama that you will get the gold or the equivalent of your wife, which in the Suvarnamurti form has been donated to us tenfold. And Rama said, in this Janma, I am a Ekapatni Vrata, therefore I'll take one more avataram to beget a 10x of the wives. So therefore, the number of gopis and wives that Sri Krishna has in Sri Krishna avataram is multitude, because when Rama told the rishis that he will take another avataram, the rishis also said, we also want to be your wife's Paramapurusha. And Rama said, in the next avataram, where I will come as Sri Krishna Paramatma, I will be your husband and fulfill your desire. Now, Shringara Rasa is the first one. Then Veera Rasam. Veera Rasam is kind of aggression. And in order to have aggression, you need to have the bhavam or the emotion of aggressiveness. Otherwise, you will not have aggression or boldness. That is called the Veera Rasam. Shringaram, Veeram. What is the third one? Karuna. Karuna is essentially empathy. Okay, being merciful. When you have Karuna, essentially the bhavam is being fulfilled with dukkham. You are feeling sad for the other person, therefore you're moving with karuna. The fourth one is adbhutam. Adbhutam is essentially becoming surprised. Ascharya in Sanskrit, we call it ascharya. That is the fourth one. Fifth one, we talked about Shringaram, we talked about Veerarasam, we talked about Karuna, we talked about Adbhutam. Fifth one is Hasyam, laughter, comedy, comical, smile. And the sixth one is we talked about Hasyam, right? Bhayanakam, or getting afraid, being scared. Then Bibhatsam. Bibhatsam is essentially caused when we are moved with a feeling of fear. Imagine you are going into a dark room and there's a rope on the floor of the dark room. Now, the moment you step onto the rope, you know there are a lot of snakes that dwell in the slither in that floor. And you will imagine immediately that it's a snake, and therefore you will jump out of fear and becoming scared of life. That is called Bibhatsam. And Bhayanakam and Bibhatsam. Then we talked about Raudram. Raudram essentially is becoming very, very angry at something, moving with anger to the extent of forgetting who you are. Then the ninth one is Kopam. What are the nine? Raudram or anger, Shantam or peace, Bibhatsam or becoming essentially destructive, kind of destructive because of the emotion with which we are moving. It could be utter disgust. It could be with kind of fear. Bhayanikam, scared and being very fearful. Fifth is comical or hasyam. Sixth is essentially adbhutam, being surprised. 7 is karuna. 8 is virarasam or viram. And then 9 is shrungaram. These 9, how do these 9 emotions they are born? So when you are sitting and chanting a small mantra, Om Shanti 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 Om When you say these mantras and chant these sounds, naturally a kind of peace, a kind of emotion is born in your mental plane, which spreads to your physical body. These 9 emotions are born out of 9 sounds, which are called the Nava Atmanam. When you sit in silence, close your eyes and plug your ears. You hear the hissing sound of the breath. This is the sound of life that Kundalini makes, ensuring we are Shivam. That Kundalini leaves the Pranashakti from the body, then the Shivam turns into Shavam. So the sounds essentially are the primal existence, and we can listen to the sounds by tuning in. What are the 9 sounds that trigger these Navarasas in us? The first one is hum. Second one is sum. Hum. Hum. Sum. Sham. Mam. Lam. Vam. Ram. Yam. Last is the Bindu sound, from which Shanti comes. Every emotion essentially leads us to the importance of Shanti. Therefore, every emotion, the base root sound has hum, sam, sham, lam, vam, ram, yam. These are the 9 sounds that talk about Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandavanatam. When we go inside and see that mother who is doing the dance as Kundalini at the bottom of the Muladharam, and listen to these different sounds. How do we listen to these different sounds? As Kundalini ascends up in the Muladharam, Lam, Swadhishtanam, Vam, Manipuram, Ram, these sounds are heard in the different chakras, and as the sounds are being heard, different emotions are triggered in us. Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandavanatam. As we are listening to those sounds and the different emotions, we start seeing from the Agya chakra that Mahatandavanatam. Shiva is doing the Mahatandavam. And when it happens, when Agya Chakrantaruta Rudra Grandhi Vibhedini, when the Rudra Grandhi is split or Rudra Grandhi is untied, when the Kundalini goes, what happens is essentially we start seeing the Mahatandavanatam. When Mahatandavanatam happens, Shiva is doing the dance of destruction of our past, because we are all continuing to behave like prisoners of the past, therefore being fulfilled of regret all the time. When Shiva does the Mahatandavanatam, when he's doing the Mahatandavam, he's destroying the prarabdhas of the past and helping us do the right Sanchita in the present, and therefore burning the karmas of the past. And when that Mahatandavanatam Ubhabhyam, when that happens and Kundalini goes and starts joining our father, the yogi Shiva, to convert him into Bogi, what happens is in the present, when the Kundalini is meeting the Mahatandavanatam Shiva, the one who is destroying our past, mother with the help of father is creating our new and pure future in the present. And therefore what happens is the devotee who is focusing on the mother using the internalized prayer of Samayacharya, he or she is reflecting in the present and noticing the past being burnt away by the Ananda Bhairava's Thandavam. Shiva is dancing in ecstasy because now mother is going to join him very soon, and this body, with whatever name it is born with, is realizing its true potential and therefore helping ascend the Kundalini, the Shakti in him or her, to convert the yogi Shiva to the Bogi Shiva. Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandavata Ubhabhyam Etabhyam Mudaya Muddishadaya Sanadabhyam Jange Jankajanni Majjagadidam. When they both are dancing together, destroying our past and therefore removing out all the papas, all the punyas of the past, and ensuring we are untangled of our baggage from the past, and therefore freeing up us of the regret that we generally have done, that I have done this, I haven't done this, and therefore helping you reflect in the present, being in the present, and therefore focusing on what needs to be done in order to have a fruitful life ahead in the near future and the future. This is a brief attempt at the very powerful 41st Slokam, which talks about the importance of spending time with the self and internalizing a nama or a mantra. And this essentially is what the innermost triangle of Sri Yantram, where we are talking about whether you are in the state of Jagrat, Swapna, or Sushupti. You should constantly keep chanting a name or a mantra, internalizing, no matter what you're doing. When you keep repeating a mantra or a name in the internal plane, doesn't matter what your external situation is, right? Then you will continue to progress. And this is the most powerful transformative prayer of sitting anywhere, any condition, and continuing to do the Nama Japa. Whether it is Sri Krishna Namam, Sri Rama Namam, Radha Namam, Vinayaka Namam, or Subramanya Namam, or Mother Divines, Durga Namam, Saraswati Namam, Lakshmi Namam, or the most powerful of the names, Sree Maathrey namaha, the mother of the mothers. And because of her maternal and motherly instincts, you and I exist today wherever we are. And therefore, when we say Sree Maathrey namaha, we are going back and reflecting on our genesis and our existence through the different janmas. And if we are here today to say a name or a mantra, we must definitely have done some good karmas in the past, and therefore we are here today. And also learning about the 41st and the last slokam of Soundarya Lahari, which says, the moment you understand the slokam and start going inward, you will witness Ananda Bhairavi, the Kundalini that is rising up with a lasya, with an expression on the face. What is the expression? She is beaming a radiant, broad smile. She is the Ananda Bhairavi, and looking at her ascent, her husband is the Ananda Bhairava, who is dancing out of ecstasy. And when you witness the Ananda Bhairava and Ananda Bhairavi coming together and becoming one, you will be filled with Brahmanandam. And that Brahmanandam is something that you have to experience and beyond the explanation of any words. Because when a devotee is experiencing the Brahmanandam, he or she will be in a state of bliss, experiencing the tears of bliss, experiencing a gooseflesh moment, experiencing a tingling moment on the back, forgetting the dimension of time, forgetting surroundings, forgetting the people around, forgetting what time it is, forgetting whom they are with. And that is the state of true Tavadare Mule Sa Samayalasya Parya Navatmanam Manye Navarasa Mahatandavanatam Ubhabhyam Vetabhyam Ude Uddishadaya Sanadabhyam Jange Jankajanni Manjagaddam. This is a brief attempt, and we will do the Mangala Sasanas, and then we will conclude today's class. Mangalam Guru Shri Chandramaulishwarage Shakti Ganapati Sharadambige Shankaracharyanige Kala Bhairavage Kali Durgige Veeradhira Sura Hanuma Maruti Jaranage Mangalam Guru Shri. Stay blessed. We will meet in the next class. Sree Maathrey namaha.